Welcome to the Individual Transition Planning ITP Page 2. What is your LEA's graduation requirements? Course of study. Courses of study are defined as a multi-year description of coursework that explicitly connects to the student's desired post-school goals, from the student's current coursework to anticipated exit year. Select the Yes box that corresponds to the statement. In the box below, include a description of the student's program and/or courses the student is taking to meet their goals. Summarize the transcript. Transcripts are not considered a course of study unless they also contain the list of future required courses to be completed by the student. If it is only lists the current or past year's classes, grades, or credits, it is insufficient for meeting this requirement. It is best to note how many credits are required to graduate. Some high schools may differ, especially if it is a continuation high school, and some students may have different requirements for instances of students who are considered foster youth. So find out the specifics for each individual student through counselors and the administrative office. Describe if the student is participating in a standards-based regular educational program with resource support and graduating with a diploma, or if it is a student who is completing the courses with a certificate of completion in a functional life skills program that includes functional academics, pre-vocational skills, and daily independent living skills. The examples should include the course name and credits for each year the student has taken and will need to take in the corresponding years. In the section Units/Credits, input the units or credits completed thus far and input how many units or credits that are pending in the following box. In the anticipated completion date, input the date you expect the student to graduate with their diploma or if they are completing high school with their certificate of completion. Based on the type of courses prescribed to match the student's current levels of academic achievement and functional skills, the IEP team will discuss and determine if the student will graduate with a diploma or a certificate of completion. In the box below, you will select the appropriate box. The next section began effectiveness June 30th, 2022, exclusively for students with significant cognitive disabilities in alignment with the Federal Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA. Please keep in mind that this new diploma pathway will only apply to a narrow subgroup of students with significant cognitive disabilities who take the California Alternative Assessment, CAA, and who have taken or plan to take the statewide coursework minimum requirements for graduation, modified to alternative achievement standards. If a student who takes the CAA and takes a functional curriculum, they will not qualify for this alternative pathway diploma. This still adheres to a 1% threshold for students taking the CAA, and those exceeding may be subject to enhanced monitoring. Students must be permitted to participate in graduation ceremonies and activities with peers. However, it does not end their right to a FAPE, meaning they are still eligible for services until the age of 22. Finally, to be eligible, students must take or have taken the California Alternative Assessment in the 11th grade, and IEP teams must determine and notify the parent whether the student may be eligible to receive a high school diploma under this exemption before a student begins 10th grade. The section asks you to determine if the student is eligible to pursue an alternative pathway to a diploma because they are eligible to participate in the California Alternative Assessment and they are enrolled in coursework aligned with the state standards. Select yes or no. Next, point your attention to age of majority. On or before the student's 17th birthday, the teacher is to explain to the student that he or she will assume all special education rights and protections upon turning 18 unless a conservator has been appointed by the court. At this stage, the rights and responsibilities regarding the Individualized Education Plan IEP shift from the parents or guardians to the student. Review the Notice of Procedural Safeguards with the student. Check the box that the age of majority was explained and input who explained it. Insert the person's name and not just the title. Input the date. For the conservatorship, identify if the student is conserved for educational decision-making. In the context of an IEP meeting, it means that the student has been legally determined to lack the capacity to make their own decisions and manage their personal affairs. In such cases, a court-appointed conservator or guardian has been assigned to make decisions on behalf of the student, often due to the presence of a significant disability or incapacity. It is important to obtain a document or legal documentation. If you do not, mark no. Mark yes or no based on the analysis that I just provided. The last set of questions in red are for compliance purposes and as an educational benefit checklist. The team should answer yes to all the questions. If there is a no, then go back to that section and re-review the section to ensure the plan is appropriate to support the student's post-secondary interests, preferences, and needs. If you have any questions, check out our resources and sign up for the transition planning training in our professional learning guide via our CA Help website.